Now, Labour said that they were going to transform Britain. How right they were. They've turned this once free market economy and open liberal society into a 1984 socialist nightmare.
The promises Starmer made to gain support are slowly falling apart. And the simple question everyone is asking is, if we can't trust him now, how can we trust him in the future? This is why Keir Starmer's nightmare has arrived, with millions signing a petition calling for a general election. This is a major moment in British politics that you won't want to miss. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on the latest breaking news.
This incoming Labour government's cabinet has almost no business experience. They are lawyers, public sector stiffs and career politicians who wouldn't know a business model if it bit them in the bum.
When people think of entrepreneurs, they often immediately think of famous names like James Dyson, Richard Branson or Lord Sugar, rather than considering the people running small and medium-sized businesses. These business owners are shouldering immense pressure, paying employees' wages, settling bills with suppliers, managing personal expenses, and struggling with a labyrinth of taxes and government regulations. These challenges are mounting, especially with policies from Angela Rayner aimed at disrupting the labour market, which only add further strain to the economy. The national insurance tax hike, according to the IFS, will lead to lower wages, fewer hires, less investment and more layoffs. This is akin to an attack on private schools, pushing lower income families into more hardship, while worsening the strain on public schools. Yet, the Labour Party, which prides itself on being progressive, is doing the opposite. Their goal is to protect the most vulnerable in society, but does the class war they are waging actually help the very people they claim to protect? These policies will have a severe impact on the working class, the very group Keir Starmer and the Labour Party have always claimed to defend. Not only does the Labour Party disregard ordinary workers, but they also seem indifferent to the most vulnerable group in society, pensioners. 10 million pensioners will have to endure this winter in hardship. In reality, they've been living like this for a long time. Does the Labour Party understand that a pensioner may only have enough money to decide whether to eat a meal or turn on the heating? It seems they can't even imagine it. For them, the image of a pensioner is likely one of fresh flowers in the luxury homes of the upper class. They might picture a Lord Grantham from Downton Abbey, only concerned with ensuring there's enough food for his Labrador, or Mary Berry, the TV star known for her beautiful cakes, but with no worries other than keeping warm in the winter. But that's not the reality for millions of pensioners. They live in poverty, deprivation, with no quality of life that could even be called life. This lack of understanding stems from a party where most of the leadership lives in affluent North London suburbs, detached from the reality of the majority. This is also why farmers are dismissed and ignored by the Labour Party. When they think of farmers, they picture expensive coats, luxury Range Rovers and grand estates, forgetting that it's the farmers who live and work on those very estates. Despite working hard in all kinds of weather, many farmers earn less than a primary school teacher. This reflects an indifference to those who create wealth for society. Looking at the current situation, it's impossible not to feel sorrow. This class war is pushing the UK to the brink. Even former Labour supporters are gradually losing faith, no longer knowing where the party will lead the country. Though not explicitly labelled, the class war is ongoing, with pensioners and farmers being left behind as insignificant. These farmers are still seen by the Labour Party as Jeremy Clarkson types, a problem the party refuses to properly recognise. The current Labour Party faces a clear lack of experience and a rigid political outlook. Especially when viewed from a business perspective, this is more apparent than ever. The current Labour government seems to lack depth in its executive capacity, and most of its members have held significant positions since the Jeremy Corbyn era. They carry with them inflexible political views, which are not easily changed, and this is evident in their management and decision-making on economic issues. This becomes even more apparent when looking at the policies of the Labour Party, especially when it comes to decisions related to the national budget. The budget, a crucial issue that everyone must pay attention to, has been handled by the Labour Party with a distinct lack of strategy. People were expecting a clear plan, a vision for the economy, but what they received instead were policies lacking transparency and direction. One of the most notable issues is the tax increase on businesses, a move that is entirely unhelpful for economic growth. What is concerning is that these policies not only fail to stimulate growth, but also worsen concerns among entrepreneurs, particularly large companies and international markets. Businesses are genuinely worried about how this government is handling economic matters. These decisions clearly stem from a lack of understanding and a bias against businesses. They seem to fail to recognise the importance of the private sector in the country's development, and this will severely harm the economy as large businesses may withdraw, investment will decrease, and unemployment will rise. One group that has been overlooked and undervalued in Labour's policies is senior citizens. The Labour Party seems to disregard these people, such as elderly women living in poverty or pensioners who are no longer able to work. Instead of seeing them as individuals who truly need help, the Labour Party treats them as an unimportant group that can be easily ignored. They view these people as unlikely to affect their votes because they assume that, in general, pensioners will not vote for Labour, but will lean towards the Conservative Party, or at least the more conservative members within their own party. This may explain why their policies pay so little attention to improving the lives of elderly people, focusing instead on maintaining support from the voter base they believe is easier to win over. Not only that, but the Labour Party has also shown indifference towards farmers, people who are truly the backbone of the nation's economy. They fail to understand the hardships that farmers face and continue to see them as easy to overlook without concern. The Labour Party seems oblivious to the fact that farmers, despite working tirelessly day and night in all weather conditions, earn less than primary school teachers. This ignorance is clearly reflected in how the Labour Party treats the people who actually create wealth in society. In reality, the Labour Party has attacked almost every group in society, causing the economy to further decline and making life even harder for ordinary people, particularly the working class. Major retail corporations in the UK, from Boots, Tesco and Asda to Marks and Spencer, have all warned of job cuts, which will not only affect executives, but also the workers directly employed in stores. These workers are the group most heavily impacted by Labour's policies, but they receive little attention. The Labour Party has even harmed students by deciding to increase tuition fees, making it more difficult for those wanting to pursue education. Moreover, the reduction in stamp duty thresholds for first-time homebuyers has made it harder for them to own property. These decisions only serve to increase dissatisfaction and deepen divisions within society. Labour's budget is clearly a massive mistake, no matter which social class you belong to. These policies not only slow development, but also exacerbate inflation, pushing the economy into a more severe crisis. Former Labour voters who once placed their trust in the party are now deeply disappointed. The Labour Party's policies not only make everyone poorer, but also reveal a complete lack of vision and leadership. Past Labour governments have implemented policies that benefited society, but in the last 4 months, everything has gone downhill. The Labour Party, despite its commitment to improving the situation, is taking steps that are no different from the Conservative government it once harshly criticised. For instance, they have decided to increase pensions by maintaining the triple lock, a move that brings no significant reform compared to the Conservative policy, even though the Labour Party previously attacked this very measure. What do people think about the issues we have discussed in today's video? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on the latest political developments in the UK. Thank you all and see you in the next videos.